into my commercial break now. Before I get myself in any more trouble. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
New show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Hello, Eileens.
For 50 years, I've seen the American people blinded by corrupt politicians, a lapdog media, and deceptive Islam. The one thing the elites fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through Spreaker, iTunes, and SoundCloud, through SHR Media and the Western Free Radio Network for half a century of experienced perspective on political and social issues, weekly on The Unpleasant Blind Guy, and catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EBL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever,
because truth is not always pleasant.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish reviews in the making of this ass. Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back. You're listening to Money Talk with Melanie. I'm your business diva, Melanie Collette. And I'm in a very good mood this evening. I don't know why. Is it because it's warm out? I think it's because it's warm out. Oh, and my sister's here. She's being very quiet. I think she's sleeping. She said she...
I'm here.
Yes, my guest is here in the background. She's on hold. And Eileen Durfee is here. She's the owner of Creatrix Solutions, LLC. And we're going to talk today about innovations in the health and wellness industry. Very excited to have her on the show today. She's an inventor as well as a practitioner. And she's recovered from her own allergies. I could use some allergy recovery today. And chemical sensitivities to achieve natural health. I can't wait to hear about how you've done that. Tell us a little bit more about your background, if you would.
Sure. I'm a former nuclear power plant inspector, auditor, and trainer, and I became sick from toxic chemicals and began the journey of going to doctors and, not getting good results with medication. So I just couldn't take no for an answer and figured, if I got detoxified and had a good diet and minerals, that my body would do the job it's supposed to do.
Now, was this for your allergies or for what kind of illness?
Well, I had Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism.
Ah, okay.
I was what you call a universal reactor. I was allergic to everything. I had psoriasis all over my body. I had to have an EpiPen because my lungs would close up when I was, either smelled a chemical or ate a food. I was paleo before paleo was ever invented, because that's I couldn't have any grains, no sugars, dairy, nothing like that. And so it was just kind of a long, drawn-out battle over many years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I know. I have a relative who has similar issues.
Yeah. I first started having some hope when a doctor says, "Oh, you've got candida really bad," and they put me on nystatin and ketoconazole, and wow, because of the fungus, the leaky gut, so everything you ate, you would become allergic to. So that's why I had gravitated towards that diet where you didn't eat anything the same within 72 hours because you just become allergic to everything. And, I was pretty miserable. So I tried, pretty much every fast, every diet, and it just became so restrictive. I kind of felt like I was a ball in a chain. I had a cupboards full of all these natural things. I switched from chasing symptoms with drugs to chasing symptoms with all the natural stuff. Look at this wellness revolution over here. Everybody's got their own opinion on what will work.
Oh, that's true. I think I subscribe to a combination of the two. Like, I don't think that doctors go to medical school for 8 years to learn nothing. But I also think that, I'm a believer in God, and I believe Him to be our creator. And so I think that everything on the earth was put here for a reason. I just don't think we've discovered it all yet. So, I do believe that we all came from the same source. So that's just my belief. So I think that there's definitely something to the natural healing.
Right. Well, we need doctors, and I don't advocate anyone to stop, their medication. And I also believe that God's the creator, and I believe actually in supernatural healing, just like Jesus changed the water into wine, pray. I really believe, because of how we're created, that every cell in your body, it's like a car, to new design standards. There's OEM car parts. Your wheels are supposed to be where your wheels are. You got a nice, comfortable seat, but how would you operate if you had to sit on lug nuts? You could get to point A to point B, but it's not as efficient. And
Sure.
So when we look at our soils and our depleted foods, we know from scientific research that our DNA to express themselves needs at least 49 minerals, and there's a suspect of another 10. So you're looking at all these minerals that we're not getting in our diet, we're actually not getting in our supplements even, that are required. And what the wellness revolution does not realize is your body's so smart. Like, if you don't have good calcium that your body can absorb, it will utilize lead in place of calcium. Or the same thing with the zinc. There's a lot of zinc deficiency going on, and the body will use cadmium in place of it, which is very toxic. So what we become is this jalopy with junkyard parts and baling wire that consumes more energy to do everything, which the number one, complaint we have out there is fatigue. Well, that's a warning sign that, you're not getting the nutrition that you need, and your body's having to adapt. So then we have all these people doing all these detoxes that strip the good minerals out with the bad, and a lot of people that are on that path sometimes will become even more imbalanced. And like I even was my own worst enemy, probably making some of my own health problems that I didn't even have when I first started out. So if we can get that mindset that your body will adapt and use something, so I'd rather have a cell function at, 10% than not at all. And so I ran across tissue mineral hair analysis. So I could get a snapshot of what was going on and then adjust my metabolism. It's like people out there, their metabolisms, they have such uniqueness. They're all their own. It's biochemical individuality, and we need to look at that. And a hair analysis can give us that snapshot, and then it's kind of like the guys out there that are into cars will know that, they measure the horsepower and the torque, and they'll change the rate of feeding the fuel or the air to get that motor in that sweet spot where it burns the fuel and it has all this energy. We eat food to have energy, and we're not burning it efficiently. So there's a bunch of us out there, like with underactive thyroids, dry skin, constipation, lack of energy, all these kinds of things. That's like driving your car going in sixth gear, going 5 miles an hour. You're not getting very good gas mileage. Then there's the people that are prone to diarrhea, have high blood pressure, their skin is wet and moist, they sweat all the time. Those people are like driving their car in first gear going 100 miles an hour. And they can have health problems the same as somebody that's slow, but for very different reasons. So I implemented hair analysis to kind of guide that process to get a more efficient metabolism. Then I realized when your metabolism is very efficient and your body has like the new car part there, it will automatically start detoxifying. So I got into detoxification and inventing things that can help us get that crud out of our system fast so we can still, during the process, kind of feel like Superwoman or Superman. And, a lot of people out there that are into natural health will do detox, and they know they feel bad. And people know that sauna therapy makes them feel good. But I've got some neat things to share, some new technologies with light and hydration and energy that can help people incorporate something simple in their ordinary daily lives that can help them, no matter what they're doing. Some people don't want to change their diet. Some people, aren't concerned about getting off their medication, but these things can help everyone, no matter what their mindset is.
So, is this something that is on the market now, or is this something that you're working on?
No, my utility patent was issued last July. See, I've been taking saunas for years. And then I learned, because you have the traditional sauna where it's just ambient air temperature is really hot and you pour water over the rocks, those kinds of things typically at a gym. Then, we had the advent of let's quit spending so much money on electricity to preheat that kind of sauna. Let's go with the dry sauna, far infrared. So then we have these sauna boxes that everybody, has in their home, and that uses far infrared light. And then there's near infrared. There's a lot of lasers and a lot of studies done on near infrared. A lot of people treating patients with cancer saying do a near-infrared sauna because the skin acts like a solar panel and it absorbs the light and it activates the mitochondria. That's kind of like the powerhouse of the cell to produce more ATP. It's a form of energy that the body can use. And so here we have a new life hack, so to speak, where you can shine near-infrared light on your skin and use that as the heat source for the sauna and produce additional healing benefits. And so the problem that I saw with the near-infrared saunas on the market, they were actually using canvas, which had no insulation value, and the near-infrared sauna wasn't heating up as fast as, the other saunas that people were used to. They would go in the far infrared sauna and the traditional sauna, and they'd really get a good sweat on, and they would feel good. And so why switch over to near infrared when you don't get that good sweat? So that was a problem. So my invention solved that problem because light travels at the speed of light. So I used a radiant material, number one, to block the light from leaving so it just bounces around and reabsorbs into your skin. And then an inch of wood is an R1.41 insulation value. And I have a panel, it's a 5-layer panel, non-toxic, that uses air as an insulation, and it provides an R12. So all of a sudden now I created a sauna enclosure that doesn't require a preheat. Isn't that amazing? And then you sweat twice as much in half the time. Aren't we busy? Do we want to, get things done and do something else?
Right. And is this mostly water weight, or is this, does it come back the minute you drink a glass of water, or does it stay off?
Actually, there was a German study, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to keep the light from leaving. They had 40 women that participated. Half of them rode stationary bicycles 3 days a week for 45 minutes for a month. The other half did the same thing, but they shined near-infrared light on their bodies. And in 1 month, an exercise program, man, that's pretty amazing. Normally they're more rigorous than 3 days a week for only 45 minutes. So that in itself, to get these results, is pretty amazing. So the group that had the light lost 444% more fat and weight. Their blood sugar improved. They had less pain, and that totaled also a reduction in the circumference of their body by 8 centimeters. So adding near-infrared light and exercise is super special. And they summarized the study that the contouring that happened was that since every cell has its own metabolism speed, we have our overall metabolism rate, but every cell and type of cell has a different rate, and fat cells are the slowest, that the near-infrared light actually caused the fat cell metabolism to speed up so much that the body was able to burn the fat and actually contour the body. And that's why there was such a reduction in the diameter of the body. And so basically using these good technologies, I just created the best widget, and I made it non-toxic. I used organic cotton, 0 VOC, ROHS certified. And then before this, when I was building near-infrared saunas, I would loan them out to people with cancer. And they were big and they were clunky. And so I've had other people, try to help people with health conditions. And I'm sure somebody knows somebody that could be benefited by having some detox or, some pain relief or something like that. So I made this whole system lightweight and portable. You can simultaneously carry the lamp, the tent, and the frame all in travel bags. You can put it together without tools in about 10 to 15 minutes. And if your hair dryer plugs into the outlet, so will the sauna. So it's green, energy efficient, non-toxic, and it maximizes all the good things of why you would take a sauna and sweat.
Gotcha. Now, so is this something that you can get commercially, or is this something that they have in gyms?
Well, I sell it. Right now, I don't have it in Costco or any retail stores, and I have it in 2 sizes. Everybody's watched the Marvel movies where there's Transformers. Well, I have one tent that's kind of like a transformer because it converts. I'm 6 foot tall. One of my sons is 6'5". So there's no other sauna in the world that you're 6'5" tall that you can stand up, sit down, flip a bracket, flip the tent, and lay down, but you can lay down in this sauna, and 2 people can take the sauna laying down, and you can do this in your own home. Then I have a bigger version because Jen from Yoga Digest was saying, Eileen, I like this. This is great. I can do stretching. I can do movement in here, but it's too small. So she got another tent. We zipped them together. And then she says, oh, it's too small. I need it taller, blah, blah, blah. So the portable hot yoga studio was born. We now have a portable tent that's big enough to do a full yoga practice inside.
Wow.
And so they're not in gyms or, because this is like brand new. We just have the products. We're shipping them actually all over the world now, but I'm the only one selling them.
Okay,
right
where can you find them?
CreatrixSolutions.com. And we have the sauna products there. You can bundle them and save money getting the lamp and the tent together, or some people already have a wooden sauna. They can add near-infrared light to it by just buying the lamp and hanging the lamp inside their existing sauna. And then some people have made their own set of lights, and they just need the tent. So it's like however you want to buy it, you can buy it.
Oh, I love that. And what's the price point? Did you want to talk about the price point, or?
Sure, you can get the lamp and the tent for $19.99.
What?
The convertible tent, and then plus shipping. And that comes with the frame, the bamboo mats, that fold and roll, the travel bags, the lamp fixture, the near-infrared TheraBulbs, the rope ratchets, the protective eyewear. It's just the whole system, everything you need.
Well, that's pretty reasonable.
And then the portable hot yoga tent is a little bit more money. I think it's $300 more, and that then becomes the family sauna.
Sure.
More than one person can get in there. You could do your yoga poses. You could actually put your spinner bicycle in there, an exercise or a bench with weights. It's very versatile. And then I've got another invention, a new way to make oxygen that goes along with these tents. A lot of people are doing yoga. Actually, 38 million people in America. That's a lot of people doing yoga. And they're all into the breath work and the breathing to raise their body oxygen levels. I have a little device called the Breathe Safe Ionic Sauna Booster. And when you put that in one of these tents, or for that matter, on your desk, in your car, pretty much everywhere we are, our background oxygen levels range between 15 to 20%. The Breathe Safe increases oxygen 70 to 118%, depending on what your background levels are. Plus, it infuses millions of negative ions with some positive ions, so it actually gets rid of particulates from the air smaller than a HEPA filter can clean. It gets rid of VOCs and formaldehydes and benzenes and all these things outgassing from our household furnishings. And so the results are amazing. There were some German sauna studies. They actually, consider ion therapy as healthy, and they'll rate their traditional saunas based on whether it's producing negative or positive ions and how much. Because when they were pouring rocks over some of these heaters, they were producing positive ions and people were being all fatigued. And then the ones that were producing negative ions, they were feeling better. So as long as people were breathing 20,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter, the person's rectal temperature did not go down. In other words, trying to cool their body down as a response to the heat stress. It didn't do that. Their sweat volume doubled. Their their skin temperatures were greater. And you'd think with being hotter and sweatier, you'd be uncomfortable, right? No. When you inhaled that many negative ions, you felt refreshed. And then when you got out of the sauna, you think you begin to cool down. Actually, from inhaling all those negative ions, their rectal temperatures went up. And why do we have a sauna? We want our core body temperature up so it kills the weak cells and recycles the cells so that we can rejuvenate, so we can detoxify. And so the Breathe Safe is an awesome addition to anybody's sauna or wherever they're at. It's so small that, that battery bank you use for your tablet or your cell phone when it's about ready to die, this little portable air purifier that can double your sweat volume in your sauna can plug into that device and you can use it on the go anywhere you are. So all these people with multiple chemical sensitivities and allergies, like the name says, Breathe Safe. You can take it anywhere with you. So that's another new invention that we've made available.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That sounds...
Yeah, when you...
Go ahead,
in your home, you can control what you breathe if you get into air purification and, don't use toxic chemicals and things like that. But when you're on the go, you cannot control what you're breathing. And so this is just an awesome little life hack, to add to your arsenal to be able to improve your health. And so what I'm all about is, okay, we live in a toxic world. We can't get away from it. But how about let's minimize what we're absorbing, and then let's detox out what we do have in our body because of the water we drink, the things we're putting on our skin, the foods we're eating. We're just accumulating toxins all the time. And so that's what I teach people is let's use these awesome detox tools, these life hacks, because we are going to have more energy when we don't have as many toxins in our bodies and when we have minerals. And speaking of minerals, I came across this awesome mineral complex. When we're drinking coffee and we're eating these foods, they're not always alkaline. And so a lot of people are, acid. There's there's all kinds of books been written about that. Alkalize or die, and everybody's promoting all these alkaline diets, which are great. But in real life scenarios, when life keeps lifing and we're using these things, we're using, caffeine or, we're eating on the run, we're not eating like we should, we're a little alkaline. And so I've got this healthy salt, is what I'm calling it, that is highly energetic. It's alkaline, and it contains 25% minerals. So here we go. When I talked about the DNA needing 49 to 59 minerals that we're not getting in our foods and we're not getting in our supplements, this stuff is amazing. It's a 10.72 pH.
Oh,
we got these.
No,
it's phenomenal. It switches you. You can use these urine test strips, and it'll switch you alkaline faster than anything else I've ever tried.
Now, why is the alkaline supposed to be so much better for you? One of my friends had me switch to a high alkaline water, which I did, but I didn't get the explanation on why that water was so much better for me. He was just like, it's better for you. Just trust me. And I was like, all right.
Well, there's some alkaline water that I don't think is better for you because they're using electricity over metal plates, and it releases small ionic particles of these metals that give us an alkalinity, but it's kind of like drinking caffeine to have natural energy, So I'm not too hot on that, but I am hot on, yes, there's benefits of alkalinity, and this is why. Every cell is like surrounded like an ocean of alkaline water.
Okay.
And it needs that water because then with that alkalinity and when the negative charge rises on the outside of a cell, it kind of releases a channel in there where protons can go in. And then inside the cell, there's these things called lysosomes. that it needs the protons. And so it attracts the protons, and the pH dramatically drops inside the cell. So then osmotic flow happens because of the differential between the alkalinity on the outside and the acid on the inside of the cell. So if a person's too acid, you got the acid on the outside, acid on the inside. You don't have that osmotic flow to flush and clean the debris on the inside of the cells.
Okay.
And then
I do feel better since I've been doing a high alkaline water thing. Well, listen, I hate to cut you off, but we need to close the show. So tell people where you can be reached and where they can get your product again.
Yeah, you can reach me at creatrixsolutions.com or call 509-670-9713. If you've got questions, that's my cell phone.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the show. And listen, I want to thank all of my listeners. If you're listening via iTunes, or you're listening on SHR Media, or you are listening through any of the other podcast platforms, I appreciate your listening. I want to thank my sponsors, John Campbell at Biz Social Personal Touch, the Tax Mama, Eva Rosenberg, Robert Houston at, Melanie at MrCreditRepair.biz. Thank you so much for supporting Money Talk with Melanie. Jared Tatum in the Facey chat. Hey, how are you? I'm about to close the show. I appreciate your stopping by and listening. My nephew is in the Facey chat. Love you dearly, Clinton Freeman, aka Mookie. Thank you for stopping.